Heyo, and welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to share some discouraging but then encouraging thoughts that I have had since starting my new job. I was initially pretty excited about this opportunity just for a lot of reasons. It felt like a much better fit for me, a much better opportunity for me. And one of those was I was excited to get to be in a different work environment with new people, just in a new context, to get out of my comfort zone and try to be more of a light. And I feel like this was less of a strong desire, or I felt like I need to do this, and uncomfortable, like, oh, I need to act set apart kind of feeling. Because I had that when I started working at Chick-fil-A. I was always looking for, like, how can I make this meaningful? How can I show the love of God to people? Like, what opportunities do I have? And which ones are easy and that shy little me wouldn't mind taking? But I feel like I just ended up in this comfort zone of just not really doing anything much different from my coworkers and not really saying anything that would very much set me apart. And then it ended up being a very comfortable place because I worked with a lot of nice people and a lot of them were Christians. But I was excited to be pushed into a new situation and have another chance at being different. Since I was already going to be uncomfortable starting over all new and being the person that doesn't really know what they're doing, I might as well start over too in the way that I carry myself and the things that I say. And so I was just excited at the chance that I might be different from my coworkers and I might have some kind of light to share with them. I went to my new job and started it, and everyone is so nice, which was great. I was like, yes, my coworkers aren't jerks. They care about doing their job. They're nice to each other. They're polite to the customers. And that's kind of the whole culture of this restaurant too. As much as that was being pushed at Chick-fil-A, was like, yes, we try to give good customer service, which I appreciated. But that was also discouraging because as the days wore on, I was like, I feel like I don't stand out at all. Like, I'm being nice too, but how am I any different from my coworkers type of nice? Like, all they know is that they see me as this innocent kind of nice, this sweet, but like kind of in a kiddish way. And they're all not Christians, but I didn't feel like I was very much set apart. And I felt, again, that pressure to not really say anything that sets me apart, to not be super vocal about my relationship with God or the things that I'm learning, because it wasn't anything they would be able to really understand or connect with anyway. It just wasn't really the environment for having more intentional conversations. I feel like when I tried, that would get kind of shut down, that just people's attention was very like all over the place. And if I tried to like talk to anyone more directly, more one-on-one, they were just very easily distracted. So that was kind of hard, just thinking about how can I be different? How do I show the love of God? How am I at all set apart from all of the nice people in the world? Because there are a lot of nice people in the world that don't know God, that are good people and do good things. What really makes me any different? How could anyone really look at my life and say that I have anything that they want? So that was kind of discouraging at first. But then there was this one particular guy at work that I'm like, dude, he has such good customer service skills. He is amazing. I wish that I could talk to people like that. I wish that I was that comfortable, that helpful, that just like warm and welcoming and just, yes, very helpful. But I watched him have an interaction with someone where I was just like, wow, he's so good at that. And like, I'm trying to be nice and be a light, but like, I'm not that good at social skills. He's crazy. That was amazing. And then he like walked back over to me and then quietly just said something about how annoying that person was or what a jerk they were or something. And I was like, oh. And it just kind of hit me, like, the niceness culture, like, as much as these are like nice people willing to help people, I really am different in a way, because when I do it, as stumbling and awkward as it is sometimes, I really am being genuine. That's the weird thing about me that I assume is God in me, because I know it's not of myself, that just people don't tend to annoy me the way that they annoy other people. Like, as much as, yes, people are frustrating sometimes, I feel like I have a longer patience with them. And then also I feel like I'm not as tempted to give in to that anger, because I try to care about them as a person and try to understand where they're coming from and try to understand maybe they're just having a bad day. Maybe they're a jerk, but it doesn't say anything about me. And the way that they treat me doesn't mean anything about me. And yes, it gets on your nerves. And if person after person after person after person is being like that, that's very frustrating. And there are some days at work where I'm just like, I am so over this. But for the most part, like, customer service has not stressed me out or gotten me as angry and grumpy as I see it doing to other people around me. And that was just a big encouragement that, like, yes, it may be in small ways that I'm different, but my kindness is different from theirs because mine is genuine. Maybe eventually, all the way down the road, they will realize, wow, she never turned around and complained about what a mean person that customer was and how annoying it was to have to help them, she never gossiped about the coworkers that weren't there or ever said mean things about them as much as she was nice to them when they were there. Like, she wasn't two-faced about it. Like, it's playing a long game, but literally that's what the life of a Christian is. Like, every single moment that we're doing, we are just living to the glory of God, and we are just assuming that He's going to do something with it, that somehow, some way, it may touch someone in a small way and just change slightly the trajectory of their life so that they will encounter Jesus. And so if that's all the opportunity that I get is those small moments and those very small ways to showcase the love of God, that's what I'll take. And I want to take the bigger opportunities too. But that was just encouraging to realize that already I really am set apart a little bit, even if I'm not saying anything or being very vocal about my Christianity and not trying to evangelize to all of my coworkers that the life that I live is different. The things that I value are different. The things that I go do on the weekend is different. And then also, I was feeling very discouraged too because of working so much and spending so much time around people who are not Christians. They're nice people. They're great. It's not that I hate being at work and can't stand them or anything, but it's just, I realized whenever I go to church or to Bible study, I would just feel so much life. Like, I was just soaking it all in. I was like, dude, this is so amazing. This is what community is supposed to be. This is what it feels like to be in the presence of the Church of God and Christians. And I was just realizing what a stark contrast that was for me and how much it does wear on me to spend so much of my time around people who don't love God. Even though they're nice people and the things that they talk about or that I talk about with them aren't necessarily any more meaningful than what I'm chatting about with my Christian friends at supper before Bible study. But just the life that I feel in my soul being around the Christians is different from what I feel being around non-Christians, that somehow my spirit can just tell a difference there. And that was, again, discouraging because I was like, man, I'm spending 5 days a week in a very draining environment spiritually, feeling like I'm not getting as encouraged or fed as I want to be, that I miss having interesting or meaningful conversations with my coworkers. But that makes it all the sweeter those times that I get the fellowship of Christians, and it's encouraging because if I can feel that much of a difference, probably just because I'm attuned to it, probably just because I would notice when I'm paying attention and I hang out with different types of people. But if I can feel that much of a difference, I'm hoping and praying that the people around me can feel that difference when they're with me, that being around me would feel like an aroma of life and would refresh their spirit as opposed to hanging around other people. That it is so true that the Holy Spirit living in us makes a difference. It changes us. It does set us apart from the rest of the world, and that people can see that in small ways and that they will be able to feel that in small and invisible ways. And so as much as I do want to grow in finding mature and good ways of sharing the gospel and my love for God with the people around me, that I also just inherently, by being a Christian, by having the Holy Spirit in me, by dedicating my life to Jesus, by spending that time with Him every morning, it does something to me that hopefully the world will be able to look at me and see. And may God give people the eyes to see that distinction. But that was just really encouraging to know that already, inherently, I am shining the light of God just by walking around, carrying the Holy Spirit around inside of me. So anyway, fun encouragement, go be little lights. Thank you for watching, and goodbye until more interesting things happen.